to my channel. Today I will be showing you guys how to create this look right here. This was a request from my subscriber Megan. Megan, thank you so much for always being such a loyal and supportive subscriber. You're always commenting on all of my videos, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, like everything. You're just so involved and it really means a lot to me that you support me so much. So I just want to give a little shout out to you, and this tutorial is dedicated to you because you did request me to do a look with the NAKED2 palette. So today I will be creating a look with this palette right here. So if you own this palette and you aren't sure, which I know that a lot of people own this palette, I'm pretty sure at this point almost everyone owns a NAKED palette by now because they're just like a staple in everyone's kit now. Before I get into the tutorial, I would like to say that the NAKED palettes aren't necessarily my favorite palettes in the world. I don't find them to be a super cohesive palette considering the amount of shimmers that they have in them. I do still like these palettes. I just think that you're better off with a palette like this if you already have a good palette that has a lot of mattes in it to pair with these shadows, because shimmers are fine to put in the crease. They just don't create as much dimension and it just doesn't create as soft of a look. Obviously, you can still create a very beautiful look with it. I created this eye look with it today, but it's just not the ideal thing that you want, in my opinion. So I do recommend getting like an all matte palette or something like that that you can pair with this. Tarte, their pro palettes are really, really great. They have a lot of matte shadows in them with a few pops of shimmer. So this palette paired with a palette like that, I feel like you'd be better off, but don't feel like you have to grab a bunch of different matte eyeshadow palettes. Just having one good staple matte eyeshadow palette and then a palette like this that gives you a good variety of shimmers makes for a good eyeshadow collection. So just wanted to say that so that you can keep that in mind if you're thinking about purchasing this palette, or if you already have this palette and you're not sure what to do with it. So I did create this look using only this palette today, but I do still recommend getting a palette that has all mattes in it because it will help you have more versatility within this palette. So if you are new here, thanks for stopping by my channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell before you leave, because what's the point of subscribing if you don't know when I'm gonna upload? If you are already subscribed, make sure that your notifications are turned on, and I would also like to say thank you for your support. So without further ado, let's get into creating this look right here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, oh actually I already did it, I forgot. I have already prepped my eyes with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Eye and Lip Primer, and I'm just going to take my Morphe M513 brush and dip into the shade Foxy right here. And I'm just going to use that as a base for the darker colors to blend on top of, so that they blend more seamlessly. I'm just putting a light amount of that all in the crease here. And then, using that same brush, I'm going to dip into the shade Tease right here. I'm just buffing that all into the socket of the eye. You guys, this past month, I just turned 24. And I feel like all of a sudden, my skin is like, it might just be all in my head, but I feel like things are just starting to look different. And I'm like, is this what getting older is like? Because I'm just noticing that I feel like my brow bone, like the socket of my eye, feels more defined. Like things are starting to sink in and I'm losing all of my collagen. Or no, it's all in my head. It's just my feelings, guys. It's just my feelings. Can we all please just appreciate this glow right here? You want to know what it is? You want to know what it freaking is? Elf. Elf. It's a freaking elf highlighter in the shade Moonlight Pearls. And I'm just bringing that down onto the lid a little bit. And then I'm going to take my Sephora Pro Tapered Crease Brush and I'm just going to go into the shade Busted right here. And I would be very careful with this palette, especially if you do your foundation beforehand, because it does seem to have a pretty good amount of fallout. So just make sure you work with a tiny bit of product at a time and you slowly build it up in order to prevent that fallout, or maybe just wait on doing your foundation altogether. I'm just taking that Busted shade on the outer portion of the eye here. And then I'm just going to use that Morphe M513 brush and just blend that out. And then taking my Coastal Scents, this is the BRB SO2 brush. It has been well loved recently, but I'm just going to dip into the shade IDK right here. And this is the shadow that really gave me fallout, so be careful with this one. And I'm just placing that all over the lid. And then I'm just going to buff out the edges. And then I'm just taking my Delium Tools 776 brush and I'm going to dip into the shade Verve right here. Pop that into the inner corners. And then I'm just taking my Delium Tools 780 brush and I'm just gonna dip into Blackout, which is obviously the black shade. And I'm just gonna smudge this all along my lash line because I just wanted like a really, really smoky lash line. So at first I'm using just the very tip of it just to apply that black shadow, and then I kind of take it on its side and like wiggle it back and forth to slowly bring it up, tapering it and keeping it kind of thinner on the inner portion of the eye, but then kind of really smoking it up and out towards the outer portion here. And kind of just connecting it to that crease there. And then just taking that first brush again, and I'm just gonna kind of run it over just to melt everything together. And now I'm going to take, this is actually the Geoxor Perfect Lip Liner. It's just like a burgundy lip liner. And of course eyeliner would be ideal, but I'm just taking that all into the waterline here. And then not only taking it onto the waterline, but actually bringing it underneath, all along the lash line there as well. Really, really bringing it out. I find that this brings a lot of life to the look because it kind of brings a colorful base. Because with this palette, obviously it's a nude palette. You could totally skip this step, or you could do like a brown liner or no liner at all. Totally up to you, obviously. I wanted to bring like a little bit of warmth and a little bit of color to the look, which is why I chose to do this, but you could totally skip that step if you wanted to. And then I'm just gonna kind of buff out the edges. This is a cream shadow brush from Sephora, just to kind of soften those edges there. And then I'm gonna take another cream shadow brush from Sephora and I'm gonna dip into the shade Snakebite right here, just taking a small amount, buffing that all over that line. But I really feel like having that liner base, whether you wanted to use a brown liner or no liner or a different color liner or whatever, I really do feel like having that liner base helps to create a lot more dimension in the look. Now I'm just gonna apply some mascara. This is the Smashbox Superfan Mascara. I have really been loving this mascara recently. I'm gonna apply that to my lower lashes as well as my top lashes. And then I'm going to apply the brand new Sephora collection Vivacious Lashes. If they did have these lashes before, they totally have revamped them, but these look new to me, so I'm assuming they're new. I just need to trim them here. And I'm just gonna use the House of Lashes lash glue to apply that. I'm back on the House of Lashes lash glue because I was using Duo for a little bit, and even though the House of Lashes is hard to get out of your lashes, it stays. Like, the Duo lash glue just does not keep my lashes down as well. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Like, this really holds my lashes down, so I came back to it. And while my lashes are getting ready, let me just tell you what I'm wearing on the rest of my face. So right now I'm actually wearing the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. A wear test should be up on this by now, and if it is, I will link it right here, so you can click on over there, see how you like it, as well as I'll link it down in the description box. And then I'm wearing the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Coralina, and then the e.l.f. highlighter. Obviously I already said that, but it's amazing and beautiful and I love it. Oh, and on my lips I am wearing, this is the Smashbox Always On Metallic Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Vino Noir, and I freaking love this. I've been wearing it so much. I've worn it almost every day for like the past week, and I freaking love it so much. These lashes do not want to stick down. Oh my gosh, stick down. Alrighty, I think that's as good as it's gonna get with these lashes. Kind of a pain to get on, but they look beautiful when they're on. Alright, you guys, so here is the finished look. Guys, these are literally some of the most comfortable lashes I've ever worn, which the Huda lashes are super, super comfortable. They are some of my other favorites, but these new lashes from Sephora are just like so good. Anyways, that is pretty much it for this tutorial, you guys. I really actually like the way that it turned out. I was a little bit nervous doing this tutorial just because the Naked palettes aren't really my favorite palettes in the world. I bought this NAKED2 palette a long time ago whenever it was like just come out and it was like super popular and stuff like that, and the Naked palettes were like revolutionary back then. But the only Naked palette that I will say that I truly just absolutely love and adore is the Naked Heat palette. Other than that, I'm not super interested in the Naked palettes. They're just not my jam. There are other palettes that I feel like are more cohesive. I was a little bit nervous doing this tutorial, but I do really like the way that it came out, and I could actually see myself recreating this look again, like at least something along these lines. I do like the tones in it. I like the way that everything blended together. I like this look a lot, so I'm excited to wear it for the rest of the day, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did filming it. And if you have any requests, comments, or concerns, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I will be sure to get back to you. That's pretty much it. So I will see you all in Wednesday's wear test. Thanks for watching. Bye.
We could be